All right, welcome back to the IOY podcast. Today I got a new guest on today. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
My name is Bill Staxx. I'm from Bristol, Connecticut, and I got a show called Chattin with Staxx, and I appreciate you having me on your show, man.
Oh yeah, man. Absolutely. I'm glad you reached back out and came on, man. I really appreciate this.
Yeah, definitely.
For the people, I guess, that don't know you, I guess, kind of share, your early life, and how, things you went through and, kind of how you got to where you are now.
Yeah, so I was born in Bristol, Connecticut. I'm 42 years old. I'm about to be 43. And I got an older brother, younger sister. Um, early life was, we didn't grow up with a lot of money. It was getting picked on in school and growing up with a stepfather. My father wasn't around. He left when I was young. And like before I was born, my father was out of the picture. And so I grew up with my stepfather, and you don't feel accepted by your step parent. Me and my brother and my sister had different fathers. So my sister had her father, but me and my brother didn't have our father. So it was kind of like I would cause trouble. I was always looking for attention and stuff like that. So I'd cause trouble in school. And the more attention that was on me, I thought it was like, that was the way to get a mother's love and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if I could swear on your channel.
No, it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So we moved to this project, right? When I'm young, I'm about, I think around 8 years old. We moved to this housing projects, and we get out of the car, we start moving the stuff in the house, and these vans pull up. Everybody's jumping out of the vans. They got guns, and they're running through the projects, and they're like, "Get in the house, get on the ground." And we're just like moving our stuff in the house. We're like, "What's up? What is this?"
What the fuck?
And yeah, we're like, "What the hell?" And they're some guy had a gun, and he was shooting at people from his one of the house's windows.
Damn.
And so that was the first experience in the projects. And we moved from apartments. We were sleeping on my cousin's kitchen floor with blankets on the floor with the oven open for heat. It was bad growing up at certain points. And then we get to the projects, and then a lot of mischief starts happening, because there's another project next to where I lived called Union Street, and they called it the Hilltop. And this place was infested with drugs, guns, criminals. It was a hot spot for drugs and all this stuff. And the housing project that I lived in was like 2 blocks away from this other project, which was really bad. And the one I lived in was mediocre bad. It wasn't as bad as the other place. But a lot of the people from the other project would go over to where I lived. And I went to school with all the same kids from the projects. So we were all integrated with it together. And when I was younger, I used to skateboard, right? And these people didn't like people that skateboarded. It was more like street people,
Yeah.
They didn't get along with jocks or skateboard kids. So they saw me skateboarding with a couple of my friends, and they came up. One of them punched me in the face. They broke my skateboard. They said, "We ever catch you on a skateboard, and we're gonna kill you," right? And I'm a kid, so I'm scared. Like these kids are like gang members and shit. So I'm like, I'm never skateboarding again. I'm done with that shit.
Jesus.
And so then I started gravitating towards the gangs. So these kids, they sparked the rivalry in me, I guess, to go to the gang that was against them. The people who I gravitated towards were against the people who were threatening me and stuff when I was a kid in school. So I eventually I became associated with a gang called 20 Love. It's in Connecticut. It used to be really big in the 90s. And there was a lot of gangs in the 90s. It was Latin Kings, 20 Love, Los Solitos, Nietas. And so I started hanging around with them, and we started committing crimes, petty crimes, stealing cars and burglaries and things like that. things progressed over the years. And one time where we used to have a building where we would all hang out. It was about 15 years old. And me and a couple of my friends are walking back to the building where we would hang out. And these kids pull up in a car. They jump out of the car, run up to us. We start fighting with them. One of my friends whips out a knife, cuts the other kid.
Fuck.
And all of a sudden, I see feathers start flying around.
What the fuck?
White feathers, man. I'm like, what the hell is that? And my boy's standing there with a knife, and it's got blood on it, and there's feathers everywhere, all stuck to him and shit.
What was it?
It was the guy had a bubble coat on, and he sliced him right down the chest with the knife, and it went through his bubble coat, and all the feathers came out. But he cut him really good. And we're fighting, and they all stop fighting, and I'm standing there, and my boy's got the knife, and the guys are like, drop the knife. And me and my boy are standing there. He's like, come and get the knife. And it's kind of like a standoff for a while. And they're like, drop the knife. And he's like, come get it. They ended up running, jumping in the car and taking off. And we used to have scrimmages like that all the time, man, where we would be fighting. They would pull a gun on us. They would jump one of our friends. We would jump their friends. We'd catch one of them. They'd get hit in the face with 40 bottles. And it was bad things like that, man. We had a big apartment building. Damn, if I was on my other thing, if we were on my show, I'd be able to show you some of the pictures of this building and all the things that we used to do. So we would breed dogs in this building too, pit bulls. And
start selling them.
Yeah, we'd sell the dogs. So we were all hanging out this one building, and the older kid ran the building. It was like his apartment. So he was like in charge of everything. He was one of the gang members involved with this gang. So he ends up getting arrested for a warrant right in front of the building. The cops came for some reason. They ran his name. They took him away. So it's a perfect opportunity for us, man. We take over his apartment. We turn it into like the craziest gang stash house. There's dogs running around. There's gang members with guns there. We're selling drugs out of the building. We have control of this whole building. And so we're out stealing cars now, right? In back of the building, there's a church where we used to steal cars from the parking lot. God forgive me. But I used to do that. And I go to church now, by the way. That's not the type of person I am anymore. I really changed my life 3 years ago, and I'll get into that a little down.
Of course. Yeah.
But so I steal a car, and we're gonna drive to the other side of Connecticut, and we're gonna go to a pizza place, eat pizza, and run out of the tab, you know. So real bright ideas we had back then. So we get in the car, we're driving. We get to East Hartford. Now I'm from Bristol, Connecticut, where ESPN is and all that. And so we're driving. We go to East Hartford, Connecticut. We get off the exit to go pick up another friend of ours. And I pass by a cop, right? Cop sees the little window is broken on the back of the car. It's like an old Buick. Window in the back. So we would break the little window to reach in, to open the door, and then we would neck the car with a screwdriver. And sometimes we'd bring them to chop shop. Sometimes we would just joyride them and crash them and burn them or whatever we would do. So we're driving. The cop sees the little windows broken, and I see that I see that he sees. So I take a right off the main road. The cop turns his lights on. He takes a right. And I'm like, oh, shit, they're chasing us, man. They're following us. So I take another right. He takes another right. So I'm looping back around to go back on the main road. So I'm driving on to go back onto the main road, but there's traffic, like there's cars sitting at a red light. And then there's cars coming in from the main road. But I'm like, I'm getting the hell out of this. Cops and backing me with the lights on. So I'm flying, man, and I squeeze right through where the cars are coming in and the cars are at the light. Squeeze in there.
What the
Yeah, the sides of the car. I scrape up the sides of the car. I take a left. I jump onto the highway on ramp, and I jump onto I think it's 84 in Connecticut, and I start driving. And there's a place where it splits off to go to Providence or Rhode Island or Boston, and it splits in the highway, and it's huge lanes. It's probably like 8-9 lanes wide. So I'm all the way to the left, and the cop is chasing us with the lights on, and I'm gunning this car. It's an old Buick, so you know, and so I'm in the left lane, and right before the lane's about to end on the right, I go all the way through all this traffic, and I hit the lane, and the cop misses it, so he can't just turn around. It's mad traffic. So I take the lane, and I just driving, and it turns into a 2-lane country road. Right now, I'm 14, 15 at this time.
That's it. Not even a fucking adult or nothing.
Not even an adult, man. And so I've been in trouble with the law before this.
Yeah.
But I haven't been like, you know, in prison. I've never been sent to jail yet. I just like been brought to the police station, and they said, "What are you doing?" They investigated something. They let me go. And it was constantly like that. So, but this is where things started changing. Now, this guy that I'm with is an older gang member. He's about 24 years old, and and these people are like, they manipulate young people in their gang to do things that they want them to do, like steal cars and break into houses. They use younger kids to do the dirty work in the organization.
Right.
And
then it don't fall on them, or I mean,
yeah, and it doesn't fall on the older person because the younger person's doing it, and usually they won't get in as much trouble as the older person.
Right. Like you said, you had a bunch of, you know, chances. I mean, just going to the police station before, you know, you eventually got arrested for the first time. Like they brought you in, and then from that point, they just, all right, here's, you're gonna pay a fine or whatever the fuck it might have been. But you know, eventually after you do something big, then
it wasn't scaring me then. So I was like, just pushing the envelope, man. Buying gun. I'm telling you, 14 years old, I bought a gun. Like, that's insane. I think of it now. 14 years, I have a daughter that's that age, and it's like mind-boggling to think of my daughter with a firearm. It's insane.
Yeah. So it's like, now it's in perspective. Like, yeah, that's not right. You know, it takes some growing to get to there.
And that's why I gotta lead by example, so I can be the role model for my daughter and for other people who are in situations that I was in. I could show them that you don't have to go to prison like I did. Right. You don't have to put your family through pain. You can look at my situation and the things I've dealt with, so you don't have to deal with them too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I get off this exit, man, flying down the road. It's around this time of year, you know, there's snow on the ground, and the kid's like, let me drive. The guy I'm with, let me drive the car. My car. I'm not even old enough to drive.
I can't even drive yet.
Yeah. So I pull over, I let him drive, right? I'm in the passenger seat, and I'm just messing with the radio. He's driving. And I'm sensing like something's not right, man. I'm playing with the radio. I look up, and he slams on the brakes, but we're doing like 60 miles an hour on a 2-lane country road.
What the fuck?
And there's a car in front of us, dead stop, like taking a right or left or something. It was doing something. The car was at a dead stop. We're doing 60. He slams on his brakes, so he starts sliding. He cuts the wheel to the left. The car kicks out, goes into the other lane. Volkswagen GTI, bam, head on, smashes right into us. Insane car accident. It was my head was smashed into the windshield. I didn't have a seatbelt on, and I had cuts all over my face, blood everywhere. I got knocked out real quick from the impact. When I woke up, my friend was knocked out. There was smoke in the car. All the glass was smashed. Car was all banged up, and I wake him up. I'm like, "Yo, come on, man, we got to get out of here." And this is far. It's in the woods, man. We're in Danielson, Connecticut at this point. And this is in the top right corner of Connecticut, all the way up to the top on the right corner. And it's woods, man. There's nothing around. There's no houses. It's just woods and like fields and shit. So I run around the driver's side. I'm trying to get this guy out of the car. I grab the screwdriver and all this stuff out of the car. And I'm like, come on, man, we got to go. People are starting to converge on the accident scene.
Oh, yeah.
So me and him jump out. We start walking down the street. Now it's like they just plowed the roads and shit. There's snow outside. So we walk down the street, but there's people watching us. They're pointing and stuff. So we go into this field. We start walking through the snow. We get to a little brook. We cross the brook and stuff. And we get to a old farmhouse. And we go up to the porch, and my friend's like, I'm going to smash the window and take the car keys. We're going to take the car and get the hell out of here. And I'm like, nah, man, I don't want to cause more
shit,
more drama. Like, I just need to use the phone. I'll call one of our friends to come get us, and we'll go home. So we decide to go to the next house, right? So we walking down the street. We get to the next house. There's a guy working on a truck. So I walk up to the guy, and I'm bleeding. My hand is all cut from the car accident. I have cuts on my head. My friend's bleeding. He has a big cartoon knot on his forehead.
Oh, man. That fucking hurt.
Now, he's a big black dude. I'm a little white kid. You know, it's a little off. They're probably looking at us like, what the hell is this? So I walk up. I'm like, sir, I just got bit by a dog. I need to use your phone real quick. Can I call? I need to call for a ride. And he's looking at me like, he's looking at me real weird. So I'm like, I go, sir, I got bit by a dog. Can I use your phone? Blah, blah, blah. And he's just looking at me, man. He's not saying nothing. And I turn like this, and this cop in back of me with a gun like this.
Oh.
Don't move. I'm like, oh, shit.
They were right behind you.
Right behind us, man. They creeped on us, man. Creeped on us. They're right behind us. So cop brings us to the cop car, slams me on the hood, slams my boy on the hood. There's a bunch of cops because they were all going through the woods to find us.
Holy
and
shit.
They caught us, man. And they slammed me on a car, and my boy's on a car, and I'm like, I'm gonna take the blame for everything, man, because I know how the laws work back then, and I didn't care about getting in trouble. It didn't bother me. So I end up, they bring me to the courthouse, and I'm like, it was all me. I stole the car, and they end up letting my friend go.
Really? Damn.
So the bail commissioner lady comes in. I don't know how court works. I'm a young punk at this time. And, you know, I'm really rebellious to law enforcement. I'm like, fuck the cops. And I'm like, you know, being really disrespectful to everybody in the process. The court, everybody, man. The bail commissioner lady comes in, and I disrespect her terribly. I'm not even going to repeat what I said to her, man. It was terrible.
That bad.
And they made an example out of me. They sent me back to prison. I haven't been to prison, but they said, you're going to prison. You're going to learn your lesson this time, right?
Wow.
So they send me to the adult prison, and I'm a kid. So they send me to Hartford Correctional Center, and this is back in 95, I think it was. And I was terrified, man.
I'm sure. Fuck.
These
just being a young kid.
Huge. But they were treating me because I knew all my. Now, when you're in a gang, it's called your math, right? Your knowledge, like all the things that you need to know to tell other people that they know that you're in the same gang that they are in. You know?
Oh, okay. When you go to prison, right?
Yeah, so they'll check you about this information. If you have the wrong information, you're in big shit. Yeah. But if you tell them the right things that you're supposed to tell them, then they embrace you. So I told them the right things I was supposed to tell them. They embraced me, man. They treat me like they give me all the food I need. Everything was fine in prison when I went the first time because I was a young kid. I was involved with this organization. They really looked out for me then. So as time progresses, I end up getting out of prison that time, right? I am in there for about 30 days. Now, the court makes a deal with my mother that they're going to bring me to New Hampshire to live with my grandmother. Maybe it'll change all this trouble I'm getting into. So they bring me up there, and it doesn't work. I'm up there causing trouble, stealing from the store, you know, not going to school. I'm smoking cigarettes up there. My grandmother's like, I don't want to deal with this shit. Send me right back.
Damn.
I go right back to all the drama, and I want to be right back involved with everything. So we're committing crimes. And then I'm 16 years old at this point, right? And I'm playing with guns, and I'm involved with some pretty bad stuff.
Right.
So I end up taking a sawed-off shotgun to this kid's house. We're hanging out. He tells me that this other person owes him money for some weed or something. So I'm like, let's go get it. I got this. Let's go get it, man. So we're drinking at the time too. So we go over there with the gun, and we got masks on and camouflage gear. And it was a terrible idea. This was in 1997. The dude knocks on the door. The mother opens the door. She sees the gun sticking out of my boy's pocket. She tries to close the door. There's a big struggle ensuing over the door. And they end up slamming the door, right? And I'm like, let's get the hell out of here, man. We go to the door. The cops are outside.
Already?
They're pointing guns already, man, because the struggle lasted a little while.
Oh.
Now, this is in another housing project in Bristol called Shawn Drive. And so there's a big struggle over the door. We run to the door. We get outside, and the cops are like, don't move. And we run. Oh, we run around the building. We run to this kid's house. He was staying at the projects. This is where he lived with his mother. We run right to his house. The cops follow us right to his building.
Damn. So they were chasing you on foot?
Chasing us on foot. It was like a dream.
Shoot at you, I guess, when you run? I mean, when did they have the right to shoot you?
I mean, it's really their discretion.
Right.
I mean, if they felt threatened, they probably could have shot us.
But if it's like a running pursuit, then they don't really shoot the person, I guess, unless they're shooting. Unless you were shooting back, maybe.
I've heard of them shooting people. They've shot people in the back in my town before.
Yeah, and I've heard that too.
If you have a gun and they could see it, and you're running from them, and they could see a pistol on you, then or a weapon, because the gun that I got caught with, it was a 10 gauge sawed-off shotgun.
Oh, so it's already illegal too, right?
Yeah, it's crazy illegal. I'm too young to even carry a gun, man. I'm not even supposed to be around all this stuff. And I've already been in trouble with the stolen car case. I already have like prior things that I've been involved in. So it was bad. It was a bad thing, man. It was very bad.
And so you ran to their house, you were saying?
Yeah, so I run back to this kid's house. I bring this gun to his house, and I tell him, if I let you use the gun when we go over there to get this money, man, you're taking responsibility if we get caught. And what do you think he did when we got caught?
He definitely didn't, I'm assuming.
No, man.
No.
Come on, man. He threw me under the bus. He said that was his gun. It was his idea to go over there. He said everything was my fault.
Now, so did they
I'm like, it wasn't mine, man. We both got arrested for the same charges.
Yeah.
We got hindering prosecution because I was stuffing shotgun shells in the couch when the cops kicked the door in.
Oh, okay.
They found the gun in back of the door. So I got possession of a sawed-off shotgun. I got first-degree home invasion, burglary in the second degree. I got possession of a sawed-off shotgun with the barrel, the stock, serial numbers. And they were calling the feds in to see if the feds would pick up the case. But they could only charge me as a juvenile because I was 16 at the time, but I had priors, and I had this probation case going at the same time. So my bond back then, it was $10,000, and I stayed in jail for about a month. My mother ended up bonding me out, but I get out of prison, and I'm still with the bullshit. First thing I do, first day I get out, I steal a car. And I go out committing robberies with all these people that I'm involved in. We're out committing armed robberies right after I get out on bond, man. I'm not scared. I'm not scared about going back to prison. I'm like, I don't care about nothing. So
how come do you think that was? That you didn't have that urge to really give a shit?
I think I accepted these people as like my family. I straight left my family and acted like I was acting like I didn't need them anymore. But now I see how naive and immature I was. But to get acceptance from people who really don't have your best interest at heart.
Yeah.
And so the story gets crazy, man.
No, you're going.
So I'm involved. By this time, I am a full-fledged member of 20 Love. I took the oath. I got my beat down, and I'm involved, man. I'm wearing beads every day, and I want to be involved. I want to fight. I want to rob people. I want to do what I have to do to make a name so people don't mess with me. And I wanted to just be that guy. I don't know. When I was younger, that's what I wanted to do. I knew I was going to prison. I didn't think I would live past 21. I didn't I lived like that, man.
Yeah.
And one of my friends got in a car chase. He shot a couple people. He ended up going to a gas station and shooting himself in the head.
Damn.
And he was one of the members. I called him my brother. He was like a brother to me. And I thought my life was going to end just like his did. You know,
Yeah.
I just thought his name was Toby, and rest in peace to Toby. He was a great kid. He killed himself. He was 14 years old, man. Like, those are the
That's
types
crazy.
of things
Yeah.
I want
That's a young
to tell.
age, man.
I want to tell people about this type of stuff so they don't have to go through the same things I went through, man. I sat in a prison cell and watched dead bodies get pulled out of cells. And when I shouldn't have had to do that, I shouldn't have had to grow up in prison and become a man there. That's not where you should have to, look up to these people who are in prison for murder. Yeah. And like, it's just crazy, man.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that sounds like a very crazy, story. I mean, I'm sure you got a lot more, I mean, but like, it really seems like, the mindset back then was just really, trying to, be, make a name for yourself, in the criminal activity and stuff. So nobody would, fuck with you. And at the same time, not really thinking about tomorrow, I mean, because like you said, you didn't really think about living past 21. I mean, that's, so the mindset definitely would be like that, because
I was suicidal a lot when I was younger, man. Suicidal a lot. Yeah. And it takes a lot of talking to counselors, and I've been really working on myself for a long time, man. And I try to better myself every day. I volunteer in the community now. I try to right all my wrongs, man. I was a terrible person when I was younger, and I was disrespectful to people. Now I open doors for people. I go to church every week, man. People look at me with respect, and I couldn't ask for anything more. My life is beautiful today. I have really good things coming in the future. I have really good people on my side, and I'm just blessed to be where I'm at, man. Yeah. And just like you asking me to do this show is a blessing. Yeah. Normally I wouldn't do this, man. I'd be out doing some bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you really don't know. I mean, like you said, I mean, you didn't really think about making it to this age and, doing these kind of different things, I mean, what kind of led you into, starting, the podcast and, being able to, tell these stories, and try to kind of change around, when did that, because you said 3 years ago is when you really started, committing to this.
Yeah. So I ended up getting jumped out of the gang, right? Before I did my prison sentence, the leader of the gang suspected I was sleeping with his wife.
What?
And yeah, it was terrible, man. They lured me to a park. They picked me up in a car, said, we're going to meet these girls, right? So I get out of the car. It's like 8 dudes. They're all like my brothers. Every day I hang out with these people since a young kid, man. We're walking up a trail. One of them turns around, sucker punches me in the face.
Damn.
I start fighting with them. They rush me. They're beating me down severe, man. Beating me. I thought they were going to kill me. Kicking me in the face, like stomping me. One dude picking up a leg. The other dude jumping on it, trying to break my legs.
Fuck.
Like bad shit like that. And it was going on for like 10 minutes, man. It seemed like forever. So I called my termination. That's called the termination when you get out of the gang and you're done. So they beat me down. I ended up having a big meeting with the higher ups in the gang, and they bounced everybody who was involved with jumping me. And they asked me to stay in the gang. And I told them no, I was walking. So I ended up walking and going to prison. I was in and out of prison for years, man. 20 years. In and out, in and out. I thought it was never going to stop. I thought I was going to have life on the installment plan. I was in and out of prison. I was messed up on drugs, alcohol. And finally, it got to be enough is enough. And I got tired of living like that, man. I overdosed so many times. And it got to a point where people that loved me were like, should I even bring him back?
Damn. Yeah.
And
I'm sure
my family now, my family looks at me with respect, man. They would do anything for me. They trust me now. It's a total different life. Before, my family looked at me like I was garbage. And now they look at me with respect. They want me around them because of who I changed into, you know? I really live this. I don't just talk about it, man. I follow up all my words with action now. And I had this idea to do a podcast, and I kept throwing around the idea. I got sober 3 years ago. I was thinking about doing a podcast, but I had to work on myself first. I definitely couldn't have jumped into it when I first got sober.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it was like really, it was a struggle for me, and it still is, to live a normal life. I'm learning every day, man, you know? Like last summer, I got my first bank account. I never had a bank account before, man.
Damn.
That's an accomplishment.
Yeah,
like that's a huge accomplishment for somebody like me, man.
Yeah. I mean, but you just never were, you know, aware of it, or I guess, you know, I mean, maybe, you know, these opportunities and shit just never really, you never really were there. And at the same time, you never really even cared or thought to, you know, look, because you had other shit going on that none of that shit mattered. You know what I mean?
Like my license was suspended for 20 years, man. 20 years. I have my license today, man. Damn. I can drive a car now. I paid all my fines. I went to court, took care of everything.
That's dope.
Like, come on, man. Like, you got to put work in it, you know?
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, some things to, you know, people, you know, for them, like, oh, that's nothing, you know, because, you know, like, oh, but, you know, to you, like, holy shit, this is, you know, such a big thing because, you know, you went through all this shit, you know, and these things were never like, you know, regular, you know, just to go and do that, you know, it's just like, who gives a fuck, you know, kind of thing, you know?
Bro, the straw that broke the camel's back was when I woke up in a tent on the side of the railroad tracks with a bottle of alcohol, not knowing where the hell I was gonna go. I didn't want to live anymore. I hated my life, man. And this was 3 years ago, man. This was not like,
that's not a long time ago.
3 years ago, I was in a tent, didn't give a shit about myself, dirty clothes, going to the soup kitchen to eat. And that's why I volunteer now, man. The lady that helped me, her name is Pat Stabbings. She runs an organization called Brian's Angels, and she does community outreach for homeless people. She brings them to the right resources to try to change their life. And I just want to help people now, man. And I have a lot of things in the future that I got coming too.
What do you, I guess if you can kind of expand on them, what do you got coming?
Yeah. So this past year, I've interviewed a lot of mob associates, a lot of mob guys.
That's
Frank
how
Frank
found
Mateo.
Yeah.
Through the
I've interviewed Bobby Luisi, and I seen you were on his channel, and I was like, oh shit, dude, this guy's pretty cool, you know. So I'm like, all right, let me try to hit him up, and I was like, yeah, you reached back out, so now here we are.
That's awesome, man. Bobby, shout out to Bobby Luisi, man. He's like a brother to me. Him and Paulie, man, they invited me up there to Boston. I went up there. I had an awesome time. We had dinner. You know, I stayed up there for a couple of days. We did a couple shows together. They're great guys, man. Stand-up guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So shout out to Mike McCullum in Chicago. There's a lot of people, man. Frank DiMatteo, Frank Calabrese, Larry Mazza.
Oh yeah.
Cuzzo, Mike Squiggles, Steve from Real Mob Radio, everybody, man. Blood on the Razor Wire. Everybody that I'm associated with. I appreciate all of you. Now, my the big news I got is I'm going to Las Vegas. I will be there starting in May. I'm moving there, and I got hired by a production company to do Chatting with Staxx from Las Vegas. And it's going to be insane. I'm going to interview people in person. And I can't thank the people found me on YouTube.
Damn.
So
that's going to be awesome, dude.
I'm trying to get some movie roles. So I'm going to be involved with the movies. Shout out to Ciro DiPaggio and Mob King and Dave Icavetti down there in Florida. There's tons of people, Joey Seifert and James Forney, Stevie Bullets. There's so many people, man. I forget some names. If I forget you, I'm sorry. J Dubs. There's like a whole list of people. And I'm really excited. They're filming a series in Vegas. And I'm going to be part of their production team. I'm going to work for the production team, and I'm going to be filming Chatting with Staxx from Las Vegas live.
That's just dope, dude. That's crazy. You know, I mean, there's definitely going to be a lot more opportunities down there. That's cool. I mean, look where it started. You know, all you had to do was make a YouTube channel and just tell your stories, interview cool people, and I mean, look how it blew up. I mean, all the shit you went through. I mean, it there's a purpose for all of it. You know what I mean? And now you're on to bigger and better things and, positive things, for, what I mean? So that's awesome, dude. That shit's going to be cool as fuck.
Yeah, man, definitely. I'll invite you out there and we'll go to the casino, we'll go golfing, whatever, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no,
people are going to be like pretty surprised at the content I'm going to be bringing them, man. This is like in person interviews. I'm going to be there in May. I'll be there before May, but I'll be setting up to really start off in May.
So then how long you going to be there for quite a while then?
5 years.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for sure, between that time, I should be able to definitely make it out there. Cause I know right now a ticket to there is not a whole lot, for plane and everything, dude. It's not bad, really. Cause the COVID and all that bullshit.
It'll be a great time, man. Yeah. I'm going to be in the Mobicons, and I'm going to have a booth and all of that. So I'm just excited about the future, man. I couldn't ask for anything more. Shout out to Dan Romano from the Dan Romano Show. He was just on my show. Damn. There's so many names, man.
And how do you go about reaching out to these people? How do you make these connections?
You build a network, man. Once you build a network with one person, you build good relationships with people. You treat people right, and people will be good with you, man. You know, I'm real transparent with my story, man. I'm not up here acting like I'm a saint or anything. I was a bad person, man. I was stealing cars out of a church parking lot. Like, it doesn't get any worse than that. You know what I mean? Now I go to church and I put money in the basket. Like, so it's like, and I feel terrible about all the things I've done. And I just want to be able to help people and show kids out there that you don't have to go through the same things I did. Yeah. You can change your life. You can start a podcast. You can be a rapper. You can be an artist. You can do anything you want to be, man.
Yeah.
You don't let people bring you down and tell you can't do it.
Yeah. And they're definitely going to be more willing to listen to someone like you because you've been through it versus someone that hasn't. You know what I mean? Because you've been through the life. You've been to prison. You've been through the whole gang stuff. I mean, so you definitely have, something that, like me, I don't have that, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I couldn't preach that to people, you know what I mean? Because I haven't actually went through all that, I can't,
And I think that's why they hired me to go do the series. It's because I have this background and I can relate with a lot of people. So that's why they hired me for this series. Yeah. And I think I'm the perfect person for it because I'm just going to give them my experience and I'm going to try to bring them the best content I can.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. No, I think that you are the perfect position or person. Oh, shit, my bad. Perfect person for that position.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I really do.
I was going to ask you too. I seen you had, Young Bleed on your podcast. I watched that one, and basically, how'd that come about? And you guys talk. And another question, kind of follow up after that. He's like, what kind of music are you guys working on? Because you work on music too.
Yeah. I have an album I'm working on right now. I do hip hop music. Shout out to Young Bleed. Shout out to J Dubs and Double Dare Entertainment. Shout out to Jazzy Faye. We got some stuff cooking up, man. Jazzy Faye's brother, man. Shout out to him. Shout out to there's so many names, man. I forget some of them. COS, shout out to him. Young Bleed is a great guy, man. I reached out. He was associated with some of the people that I met doing the podcast, and he came on the show. And it's just a lot of stuff coming out. I have some music produced by J Dubs coming out. I have a show coming out with Big Buzz. Cuz have you heard of him before?
I'm kind of familiar. Is he from
country rap?
Oh, okay. So he has rap and country. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, it's
so
like country rap.
Then?
It's he's kind of newer. He's been around for a while, but he's with Jelly Roll and Struggle Jennings and them.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jelly Roll. Shout out to Struggle Jennings. It's a lot of things, man. I've been doing music for a long time, and I really honed my craft, but I started getting involved with the podcast thing, so I put the music on hold. Yeah. So now, like, I do the podcast thing full time, and I got the music thing on the side. But I'm gonna continue to bring them music and podcasts and
that's dope.
All kinds of things, man. And the clothing line is coming out soon. A lot of designs are coming out on that. Put them in the bathroom. You know, the catchphrase that I use on my show.
Yeah.
I got shirts coming out. Put them in the bathroom shirts. So it's going to be good, man.
I know that scene was funny as fuck in that movie. How did you think to apply that to your show?
When people are disrespectful on the chat, I tell them, put them in the bathroom. Because people have a wrench on the show, right? So a moderator is a wrench. A wrench can put people in the bathroom, meaning block them, or just put them on a timeout. If people get disrespectful, I just say put them in the bathroom, man. Just like on the Bronx Tale, you know, because there's a lot of mob associated content on my channel. But I'm definitely gonna be broadening my horizons. I'm starting to interview actors and musicians, and I'll interview basically just about anybody. Everybody has a story, and everyone deserves to have their story told. So I'm willing to interview anyone. Just reach out to me if you want to get an interview on my channel.
I agree with you. I mean, that's the best way to really do it too, is broaden your horizons to like everywhere. And, you know, I mean, so I think, you know, like how you started was, you know, great, you know, doing the mobs and stuff, you know, the gang stuff. Cause I mean, that's what you know. And that's kind of what I did too, you know, because I was like, okay, rappers. I love listening to rappers. So I kind of started like that, you know, and then it branched off to actors, comedians, what else? Scientists, biologists, you know, just stuff that I had on my social media.
And then you went to the mob realm. And
oh, shit. Yeah. Now here we are with you. You shit, you know, because I went from Bobby Luisi to you, Tom
LaVecchia.
Yeah, I did
Tom LaVecchia.
Yeah, I did an interview with him too. Actually, before we did ours.
Shout out to Tom LaVecchia from he used to have the NBA and the Button. New Theory podcast. Shout out to New Theory. Yeah, I've been on Tom's show, and he's good people, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, I know I definitely agree with you, and always taking opportunities to do shows with, like doing, you know, other podcasts with other, you know, podcasters and shit, you know, because then it really gets your name out there even more. Because who else better to do a podcast with than another podcaster? Because, you know, all the people that listen, you know, already like that shit.
Yeah,
you know
it brings you some of my audience, and it'll bring me some of your audience, you know.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? And I really like, you know, that you are expanding though, you know, because like I was talking about with the Young Bleed thing, I've seen that you you know, we're talking about Spice One at the end and shit, you know, and I was like, I was going to tell you, I was like, yeah, dude, I did a podcast with him, you know, when I first started, you know, and I was like,
with Spice One?
Yeah, dude, I was like, holy fuck, you know, like, you know, because that was my first big one. I was like, dude, no way. Like, I've been listening to him since I was a kid, you know, so it just kind of mind blew me, you know what I mean? And like, we did 45, we were supposed to do 45 minutes, you know, and we ended up doing 3 fucking hours because he really fucked with us. Man. Yeah. And at the end of the podcast, there was some girl that came in, you know, and he thought we had hung up off of Zoom at this point. And, you know, she's like, you're only supposed to like take 45 minutes, and he's like, she's like, you were supposed to only take 45 minutes, and you must have really liked them. He's like, yeah, there were some cool ass youngsters, because I did it with my friend. You know, I was like, what the
Yeah, that's
fuck?
awesome, man.
To me, that was
It's
just amazing.
awesome.
You know,
Bro, famous people watch my show all the time. I get hit up by, I can't really say the names, man. Maybe after we shut this off, I could tell you a couple. But I'm telling you, like, you think Sammy the Bull is big, man? I've talked to the biggest gangsters that you have ever heard of in your life. Talk to them personally, and like, it's insane. It's insane. I never thought I'd talk to people like that. Shout out to the Gotti family, Junior, all of them. Shout out to Chicky Chickatelli. Shout out to Damien Trite. Shout out to Bill Crooks. Everybody, man. There's so many people, and I'm just excited about the future, man.
Yeah. How do you usually? I mean, with your YouTube lives and stuff, I've seen you're really interactive with fans and stuff. I like that. And you know, that really gives people's more attention and stuff. You know, like, I mean, like, I was watching it like last night, you know, your recent live and shit, you know, you were just showing like the clip of the guy getting sentenced, you know, to 3 life sentences and shit, and they're like, oh well, you'll get time served for the 11 months you were in prison. Like, what the fuck does that mean? But I'm just saying, like, you know, just watching that, and you know, just hearing your input and shit, you know, is you know, just like dope. You know, you can just sit there and relax. It's like a news channel or whatever the fuck, you know, and then you go to the next topic and shit. I mean, even towards the end, I was just listening to it, you know, and just working on my shit, and then I just hear you say, oh, I got this interview tomorrow with Invest in Yourself Clothing. I was like, holy fuck.
See, man? Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was just like, damn, that's dope to actually hear someone say that, you know, because to me,
bro,
you know,
I'll help you promote this as much as I can, man. I'll do for you whatever you need done, man. I will help you out, just like people have helped me. I'm willing to help anybody, man. I'm definitely not too big for myself. And especially even if I get into movies and all that, I got time for anybody who wants to listen, man. You know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, because them are the people that, you know, keep us going, you know, because someone's actually listening, you know what I mean? So
exactly, man. You can't do it without them. You can't do it without them.
No, not at all, man. You know, so what is I guess else do you got coming in the works then? You know, that you kind of talked about everything, or
no, man, tons of stuff. There's tons of stuff. Mob King, the premiere will be out around May, I think Ciro said. Around April, May, the premiere. He's doing it a little different, but it'll be in some movie theaters in New York and Miami and California. I'm not really sure about the whole ins and outs of it, but I have Michael McCollum coming on my show, former Hells Angel, Chicago Hells Angel enforcer. I'm really good friends with Mike, and he's coming on my show tomorrow night at 7:00, and it's gonna be great, man. I have a lot of guests coming on, and I'm just excited about the move to Vegas, and I'm excited about the level of guests that I'm gonna have on the show. It's insane.
Yeah, I'm sure, man. That's a big step, you know, to really move forward with, you know, with doing your show. I mean, that's gonna be fucking awesome.
Definitely, man. And I appreciate you taking the time and having me on your show.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. I appreciate you coming on. You know, I had a few other questions, you know, I usually ask everyone. You know, what is a lesson that you've learned through you know, business where you might have been screwed out of a situation that you could prevent someone else from going through?
Never count all your eggs before they hatch.
Expand on that.
Consistent, man.
Be consistent.
So say I want to interview Oprah Winfrey, right? Oprah Winfrey, right?
Yeah.
And I'm reaching out to her. I reach out to her, and she says, "Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it on this date." You're like, "Oh shit, I got Oprah Winfrey."
Yeah.
You're like promoting it. You're putting it all over the place. Oprah Winfrey doesn't show up on that date.
No, fuck that. I know what you mean.
You're like, you're putting all your eggs into it. You think that's it. That's what it's going to be. Or you get one interview and you're like, you're living off that one interview or this one song you made or this one movie you did. Don't ever live off that one thing. Have your tentacles and a whole bunch of different things. So you're not counting your eggs before they hatch. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, absolutely.
I never do that, man. I never like, oh, I have 20 eggs, because you never know, man. They might not become a chicken. They might just
Yeah.
stay an egg, you
No,
know?
for real. I mean, like, I've reached out to multiple bigger people, and they reach back out. They say, yes, let's do it. And I say, let's set up a day, and we'll set up the day, and then the time I'll say, and then nothing. I was just like, what the fuck, and you never hear back from
Yeah.
them, so you
Yeah.
just, and, from, even
But you're
saying,
telling everyone, I got this person on. So
no,
people
no,
look at you like, you're a
no.
liar, man. You're lying.
Yeah, that's what
You're
I'm
like,
saying.
no, they really said that. It really did. Like,
But that's what I'm saying, like, I won't say, oh, I will not tell anybody, maybe a few friends, that I'm going to be doing an interview with this person. I don't say
yeah.
it because until after I do it, because I just, in cases like that, when I'm actually excited and there's someone big, and I tell a few people and then it don't happen, I just feel like an asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it never happens, and then it just makes me look like a dick or something, but that's I know exactly what you mean by that.
Yeah, that's why don't set yourself up for a letdown, man. If something doesn't happen for me, I don't let it destroy what I got going on. I'm like, oh, I can't let it. It's okay. I'll just move on, man. If someone doesn't show up or this, and I'll just move on to the next interview. It's not a big deal, like,
That goes with everything though, too,
It
and
does.
you can apply that to anything. You really don't want to put everything into one person or one thing. You just want to be able to, okay, that didn't happen, move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I don't let things bother me the smallest.
Yeah.
And you got to be consistent in whatever you do. Be consistent. Because if you're doing it and then you just stop for what, a week, and then you're doing it and you stop for a month, it's just never going to go anywhere if you're not consistent. And don't be afraid to take that chance, man. Go for it.
Yeah,
I do. I'll jump
agree.
on a plane right now. Like, that's the type of guy I am. I'm going to take advantage of every opportunity that's presented to me. That's a positive thing in my life. I'll take advantage of every opportunity.
Yeah, and obviously you're going to Vegas. Shit.
Yeah, man.
And
I want to give a real big shout out to Liz Coppola. None of it would be possible without her. I am forever grateful for her. She's the one that gave me this opportunity, and I cannot thank her enough. Thank you, Liz.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I guess you kind of covered, some struggles that you went through, that I always ask people too, like, what are some struggles, that got you to where you are today? Is there any like significant one that you can mention or think of that kind of brought you to where you are right now?
Getting through problems, man. I want to talk about getting through problems without me having to run back to alcohol or drugs. Like, that was the main thing that I really had to get fixed within myself.
Yeah.
Is that I didn't want to, like, say someone dies in my life or something bad happens. I don't have to go run to alcohol because of it. I don't have to go run to alcohol because I'm happy over a situation.
Yeah.
I don't ever have to do that again, man. You find different ways to deal with different situations.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like
you can get through anything, man. Anything in life,
No, I agree, and like, with the alcohol situation too. I mean, it's easy, oh, let's celebrate, this happened, such and such. Let's give, I mean, it's like, you don't have to do that, that's not something that has to be done, I mean, it's just like, because after a while, yeah, it can become a problem, or, like you said, run into alcohol when something bad happens, or, because, yeah, I mean, that's definitely, a trait that can really become, an ongoing problem, and become,
it could be detrimental to your health, man. Like, especially if you're running to alcohol every time you have a problem, something's going on. Like, I used to do that, man. I used to do it, so I know. Like,
then you'll find a problem for every day. I mean, you'll find something to set you off.
Yeah.
Once you get to taste of the shit,
I'm happy, man. I'm sad. I'm pissed off. Like, I gotta thank God, man. God is the number one reason why I am where I'm at, man. I have a big belief in God, and my faith is really important to me. And
no, yeah, for sure. I could definitely see that.
I'm hoping everything really works out for other people as well, man. And if I can help people get to have any type of success, then I'll do that.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely can see that in you. I mean, look at you.
What's in your future, man? What do you got planned for the future? And I want to ask you if you will come on my show, man, because
No,
I want to
hell yeah.
interview you and
Yeah,
find out
hell
what
yeah.
you've been through in your life, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. No, for sure. I'm definitely down for that. That'd be my second interview, ever being interviewed by someone, dude. Yeah, for
Oh
sure.
yeah,
Absolutely. But you asked, what it is that I got coming.
yeah.
Basically, I guess, just I mean, I have a maybe like 18, 19 podcasts, already recorded. I got to drop them, figure out some way to drop them. I do one a week is what I try to do, but I'm trying to get them more out there more, because I just want to. But I mean, because that's a lot to be sitting on, I mean, I
Is
really
this
want to
is
post
this
them.
just where do you just stream to here, or is
Yeah,
it,
and I want to do live
or is
ones
that
too.
other places? Is it like,
Yeah, I mean, I do YouTube and Spotify is what I put all my podcasts on, and then I do little mini 1 minute clips on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, with a link and all that shit. But like, I mean,
I could give you some
yeah,
different tips, man, on
yeah, definitely
how
go
to do
ahead.
a couple different things. I'm not like super knowledgeable at all this computer stuff, but I have some tips I could give you
Yeah,
off
absolutely.
camera.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Once we wrap up the show, yeah, definitely. I mean,
Yeah,
I'd love to hear
definitely.
them. But I mean, like I said, I got the clothing brand I do, and now I've been doing podcasting for a year. And then now in the works is I'm trying to, work on my own hot sauce, so I can have that as another way to market, my clothing and the podcasting and all that shit, more money
Your own
coming in.
hot sauce,
Yeah,
man. That's a
yeah.
unique thing, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really unique.
Well, I mean, shit. I mean, I guess when you find shit that you like and you can make money off of it, I mean, it's kind of like it's really more enjoyable. Like hot sauce. I've been eating that shit forever. I mean, I put it on everything. I mean, and I love making it. I
Oh
love
yeah,
gardening.
man.
I mean, all that shit. So I like the whole process of it. So yeah, I'm working on that, and just trying to keep getting more podcasts and interviews with more people. And, yeah, I
I
mean,
can
that's
help you
just what
with
I'm trying
that
to.
too, man. I could get you some people for your podcast.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. I mean, if you anything
Definitely.
after the show wraps up, just let me. We can talk a little bit more about it. But yeah, I mean, definitely, I'm definitely interested in
Definitely,
all
man.
this shit, man.
Oh
But yeah,
yeah.
that's what I got coming. I mean, I'm trying to think if I had anything else for you. Did you have anything else you wanted to add before we wrap up?
When did you start your clothing line, man? Because I got the clothing line coming soon, and
Oh,
I'm really
I s-
intrigued about the whole clothing line thing. I really want to be successful with that, you know?
well, I'll tell you, like when I started back in beginning of 2020. This is one of them that I'm wearing, but I haven't dropped this yet, but I'm going to. But I started in 2020, and I had COVID was going around, and my job, the hours were cut, so I had more time. So I just kind of thought, I want to have my own brand, something that I can wear and represent. And from that point, family, friends liked it, and then I was like, well, fuck, maybe I can kind of advertise it on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all that. And I went and made these pages, a website and all that, and just did little photo shoots every month. I'd drop one of these, and then people would buy them. And
It's
you
dope,
know
man.
I mean, but the way that I guess I started, was just buying shirts, like the Gildan shirts and stuff. They're one of the cheaper ones that you could
Mhm.
buy, and you can get
Doing it
unisex
yourself?
ones and shit.
Did you
Yeah.
do it all yourself?
uh
Everything,
well
like the
well
print up and all that, everything?
Yeah, for a majority, but I have my aunt, she'll help me, put the logo on itself. She's
Yeah.
teaching me how to do all that, but coming up with the design and everything like that, yeah, but when I finalize it, because I'm just shitty artist, I'll have, my girlfriend, she'll go over
I'm a
it.
tattoo artist too, man.
Oh,
By
so
the
you're good
way,
at that,
you
yeah.
didn't know that. I learned tattooing in prison, man, and
Oh, shit.
I've been
Is it?
tattooing for a long time.
Damn. So you're probably a really good artist. So with your logos and stuff like that, it'll probably be really easy for you to do. But for me, I have to have my girlfriend, go over it, because hey, look at my shit, man. It look like a kindergartner drew it, But I know
But
that's my
my
weakness.
specialty is lettering, man,
Oh,
tattooing
okay.
lettering. I like doing that type of thing. I don't do like portraits or anything like that. I like doing nice sharp lines, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Do you have any designs that you've logo
Yeah,
or
I'll
came out
send
with
you
or
a
anything?
bunch. I'll
Okay.
send you a bunch of pictures after this. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I like to see them. But I mean, how are you planning on dropping it and everything?
Well, the tattooing I'm putting on hold, man, so I can do the podcast?
No, I
thing?
mean the shirts and stuff. Like, how do you
The
plan
shirts
on
and
the
stuff.
merch?
Yeah, I'm dropping a website, all that,
Okay,
man. I'm going full force with it.
that's good. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's gonna
then
be good, man. I'm gonna have put them in the bathroom shirts. I'm gonna have Chattin with Staxx. You know, I got the Chattin with Staxx logo that I
oh hell
just
yeah,
had designed, and I have a bunch of. I want to come out with like at least 5 designs,
fuck
like
yeah, dude.
something like 5 cool designs that people can pick from, and I hope people like it, man.
Yeah, and I mean, if they obviously really support your show and you have all these people interacting, I guarantee they're gonna buy it. There's no reason they shouldn't. I mean, I
Yeah.
would assume they would definitely, if they want to continue to support you, they'll get that.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I mean,
I'm just excited about the future, man. Every day is a blessing, and I wouldn't trade my life for the world, man.
yeah.
And shout out to my daughter too. Her birthday was just last Monday. I love you. Happy birthday.
No, that's cool. How old's your daughter?
17, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so she is quite older then. I got a little girl that's 4.
Yeah,
So
man.
yeah.
You gotta be on it about 2 little boys out there. You better watch
I already know
yourself.
that shit. Yeah, it's already
know?
happening, man.
Oh
Preschool,
God.
you know what I mean? So yeah, I know what you mean. But
All you can do is lead by example, man. I try to lead by example so I could be a better person for my daughter and show my family that I'm a changed person, man. I'm not that person anymore. And people can trust me nowadays. I'm a reliable person. I'm a trustworthy person. And that's all that matters, man. I just want to be a good person and help people. And that's
yeah,
it.
you definitely are, man. I really see that change, man. I can really see. I mean, I didn't know you back then, but I can really see that who you are today is not who
Thank
you
you,
were
man.
back then, man. You're doing a good job, man. Keep it up.
I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you.
problem. I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Definitely. We're going to have fun when you come on, man. It's going to be great.
Hell yeah, I look forward to it, man. Well,
Hell yeah.
here I'll hit the unrecord button on here.